today we are talking about practical optimism. What does that even mean? This is from the Model Health Show. Shawn Stevenson had on Dr. Sue Varma. She is a board-certified psychiatrist and wrote the book Practical Optimism for a host of reasons. But the idea is basically to let us know just how important optimism really is. And the first thing is, which I think is great, because we'd say, all right, well, maybe we were born this way. Actually, there is a gene for optimism, but it really just affects about 25% of personality. So that means the 75% would be an environmental situation, meaning we can learn to be optimistic even if we probably had a greater pessimistic gene. Anyway, this woman is from New York, or at least that's where she was doing her residency, doing all of her work, and she was around at the time of 9/11. So the reason why the book, I wanted to bring that up, is that she noticed that some people, after seeing the towers fall and the tragedy pretty much affecting everyone in America, she'd still see people that were not anxious, did not have the psychoses that we would maybe have given such a turmoil and tragic state. And so she asked this one woman, why aren't you needing help? And the woman said, she was bringing people to the clinic. She said, this is my purpose. And so there you have it. So this is kind of the main theme of this chat is not only are we optimistic, but can we find the purpose in our life? And so when you think about your brain, all right, where our brains or our mind has a tendency to be pretty negative. We've all heard maybe Dr. Daniel Amen say about the ants in our head, automatic negative thoughts, that just run rampant constantly. This is happening more often than not. We're always thinking about what's going to happen to us, not in a good way. We're not always super cheery people. So this is something that the problem with having automatic negative thoughts is that the body tends to then respond to what the brain is putting out. So in other words, we might be feeling stomach issues, we might have shoulder pain, we might have constant headaches, grinding of teeth, you name it. It's basically what's happening to the body generally is due to what's happening in the brain. And this is pretty well researched at this point. So instead of saying, okay, I'm going to head to the doctor, I'm going to get a drug, I'm going to do whatever, it's certainly okay to try to rectify it with exercise, deep breathing, relaxation, even herbs and whatever. And yes, if you have to go to a prescription. But Sue is saying, hey, if you find that you have purpose in your life, you might find some of your, I'd say at least minor aches and pains are going to dissipate. And that has been proven time and time again. So that's pretty cool. Actually, they did a study with people that picked a purpose, so to speak, and they found over an 8-year period, there were less incidents of strokes, of cancers, heart diseases, things of that nature. Now, is it only because of optimism? I don't know. That's a pretty big study, but I thought that was at least worth thinking about. But the big takeaway message there is purpose impacts physical health. So if you are having some weird things that are suddenly happening to you, maybe you've had some stresses, this could be something to take a hard look at. So Sue herself wrote the book Practical Optimism after experiencing all this sort of tragedy at 9/11, and she herself had this similar situation happen to her. So first you could start with trying to see if your purpose could be had in your everyday life. And she goes as far as to say that hobbies are great, they're fun, that might not be purposeful. Is your work something that you spend an inordinate amount of time with, but yet you don't find purpose in what you do in that way? Then she suggests, okay, is there something that you can do for your work? Could you organize a 10K? If you have a group or organization that maybe you play cards with, or you're in a sorority, whatever it is, could you get a group together to do some sort of speakers bureau, or have people come in and whatever. So find a purpose. It could even be something as little as walking a neighbor's dog that's maybe having physical problems. So it doesn't have to be huge, and it doesn't really have to be ongoing, but the more you find a purpose in your life, the more generally you are passionate. And so that kind of leads me to somebody else I heard the other day, and I wish I could cite who it was, but the question was, is it better to have a purpose, or is it better to have a passion? And sort of the answer is, go with the passion, because you will find that you will soon have purpose if you stick with your passion. I think that to be true also. So instead of just being worried about, oh, what can I do for somebody else, maybe just do the thing that you really do well and really enjoy, and maybe you'll find that you can help others with that passion. So I think that's a good note. She also suggests learning a new skill, and something that might be a little more challenging than you'd be aware of. So for instance, I teach a lot of exercise. If I go take some sort of new class, I might be pretty good at it because I have a pretty good sense of physical awareness and body and strength and flexibility. But if someone asked me to play a video game, something I never do, I would have a hard time with it. So just in other words, know yourself. So if you learn something new, your brain really loves that. It's just another way of what she says. We've heard this term, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's just a great way to help your brain in situations that, if you're feeling nervous, stressed, anxious, unhappy, put yourself in something that is going to create sort of a mind direction for you, so that you are not having all of those other challenges. And so finally, there's another little component to this, is either being a mentor or taking a mentor, having a mentor, which is kind of cool. And I like that too, because it doesn't really matter how old you are. If there's something new that you're learning or something that you feel like you want to get good at, having someone else help you can also, make you a better person, make you feel good. Obviously, you're going to make them feel good. And conversely, if you are mentoring someone else, then you yourself can feel good. So it's hopefully not too touchy-feely on this. I thought the positivity of this cognitive behavioral therapy angle of practical optimism in the long run, hopefully this doesn't sound too woo-woo. It's if you can help others, you are helping yourself. Something else that she brought up, which is, I think, so timely, is the fact that we obviously use our phones for communication. People actually almost don't talk on the phone anymore. They're doing these texts, it is what it is, right? But it has been shown that when we text someone, it doesn't have the same emotional effect as if we leave a voice note or actually talk to them on the phone. So I bring that up because they actually did a study with a young girl, actually measured the cortisol levels where someone was texting versus someone was leaving a note, an audible note. Our brains just don't love the black and white. That's the bottom line. So if you are trying to create more purpose in your life and trying to help others, try doing the little voice recording, because people in general like the audio version way more than they like the text. Because even though we seemingly have more people on our Facebook or Instagram more than ever, we are in a lonely time in our life, and it probably is because we are texting more than we are talking. So Sue Varma encourages us to reach out to people that maybe we know, but we don't know that well. Okay, is it your coffee shop person? Maybe you go to the same Starbucks every single day and you get to know this one barista or whatever. She suggests, and it sounds corny, it sounds like, okay, I would feel so awkward doing this, but ask them to do something with you. Could be a walk, could be a coffee, could be whatever, but just people that you see in your life that are a part of your life, that you think you know them, but you might not know them as well as you think you do. And this is going to create a really nice purpose for you and your brain. It helps your brain a lot, and it just creates a little less loneliness in our life. So all of these things are, as you can tell, part of being socially interactive, and that's not just via Instagram or texting.